Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never to sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report, and I am your host. It's your boy, Russell Wayne, up in the house. It's Friday. It is November the 1st. I hope everybody had a great Halloween, that you took your kids trick-or-treating and all that stuff, because that stuff is fun and they look cute. We're broadcasting live out there into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page right there. Over 56,000 followers right there. Why have billions when you can have thousands? Yes, we're broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast right there. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys over there for providing us a platform, along with JC Sports Network on YouTube. And we are also on YouTube at Lions Villain Squad right there. We are the undrafted free agent, the UDFA of sports. Liking, commenting, and sharing this content helps us get into the algorithm. So thank you that is doing that. And welcome to the program to everybody right there. If you want to partner with the Villain Squad, if you like what you're seeing right now, and you like our weekly programming 6 days a week, and you want to partner with the Villain Squad, Main Event Mike at 810-620-2167, and you can find out how you can be guilty by association. This show is brought to you by NFL Shop. You can use that QR code, or you can use this link that I am throwing into the comments right now to save up to 30% off of your order. Get that smooth looking Jahmyr Gibbs jersey right there in the Blackberry edition right there. And this isn't possible. This is faith, family, and then football. Faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football to spend time with our family and to create memories. We don't let football use us. So welcome to the program. Join the conversation. You can do that. You can join the conversation. I want to know what you think more than I want to spout out what I think right there. So let's see what you think. Who do we got in the comments right here so far? The central scrutinizer. Don't forget to hit that like button.
You like that? You like that?
Kirk Cousins has got it down.
You like that?
Hit that. You like that?
You like that? You like that?
That's the Lions Villain Report. That's what you're liking. Good morning, all. Break out the hoodies. A little bit. The temperature went down a little bit. Good morning to Roy. Good morning to you, John. And there's that NFL Shop gear link right there. I appreciate anybody that uses our link. Any link, you could go directly to NFL Shop, but when you use our link, it helps our program. And we're just a couple of knuckleheads with a podcast, so we appreciate you. And you might be able to save a little bit of money. Ken, what's up? Top of the morning to you, Russ and Mike. Mike probably won't be on here today. Maybe he'll be in the comments today. But top of the morning to you too, Ken Fisher. Jay Smooth is in the house. Maurice is in the house. Brian, what's up, Brian? Brian's in the house. Henry Gray is in the house. All right, I got through all my peeps right there so far. We'll catch up, but we got a battle. We got a battle for control of the NFC North. Wait a minute. This is a battle for control of the NFC. The Lions have an opportunity right here this weekend. And now, since we've gotten into all the trade stuff, we've talked about the trade stuff, we're wondering what Brad Holmes is going to do. What's Brad Holmes going to do? We're less than a week away from the trade deadline now. So, I mean, it's Friday, and maybe something will change by tomorrow. But as I'm right now, I'm looking at the Google, and the Google doesn't show anything about us trading for any players. Trade pitches, just a bunch of people, trying to figure some stuff out. Bunch of people trying to figure out what the Lions might do, which is all we're doing too. So I don't think Even if the trade happened, we'd find out about it. We might find out about it tomorrow. That person's not going to be in the game plan for Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. And this is a battle for control of the North. This is a battle for control of the NFC. Now, the Green Bay Packers, if they win the game, they'll move to 7-2. The Lions would move to 6-2. And we'd have this cluster. We'd have this cluster of teams, because then you'd have Minnesota with a chance. I think that they can get a win this week. I think they get back on track. And they also go to 6-2. And then you'd have a cluster if Green Bay is to win this game. But if the Lions win the game, they're going to create some distance. They're going to create some separation. Now, I know we have the toughest division in football, but we would have firm control of the NFC North, where the Lions would move to 7-1, and the Packers would go to 5-3. And then you might be able to have Minnesota keep pace at a game behind you, but you own the tiebreaker because you just beat them. So the Lions have an opportunity right here to really seize control. I mean, everybody always seems to talk about how the bottom can fall out. Here come the Green Bay Packers. What are they doing? And it really doesn't matter what the Green Bay Packers are doing. It matters what the Lions are doing. The question of the day is, now that you know that you're not going to have pass rusher help, how are you going to get pressure on Jordan Love, or maybe it's Malik Willis? How do you get pressure? Good morning to you, Brian. Dan Nelson in the house. Lions fans from the West Coast here up at 7 for the show. I appreciate that, Dan.
You like that?
Dan, up on the West Coast. Where are you from, Dan? Are you in Cali? Are you in California? Are you in Washington? You in Oregon? I don't know what it all looks like that. Scotty Reno's up in the house. What's up, Elise Memes? Elise Memes in the house. I hope that you're feeling better. I know you were down with some of the memes, but I know that the memes are the queen of memes is always pumping out memes. And you need to go and you QR code, go over to her page and give it a follow, because she's got good memes. I'm not going to lie. They're good memes. Good morning, Brian. Deadline, the more expensive it's going to get. Actually, Brian, it's the opposite of that. The closer it gets to the deadline, the less expensive it gets. Because these teams want to move some of these players. Some of these players that are available are on the last year of their deal. So you're renting some of these players. And I think that's what Brad's looking for. But the closer it gets to the deadline, the more it benefits the buyer, because it's the seller that's trying to get rid of their players for assets. Brad loves to keep us fans in suspense. I think that you're just waiting to get the next game check out of the way. They want this to be the least expensive as possible. The Lions want this to be the least expensive as possible. So, it comes down to even game checks. What are these guys getting paid? And I know, I didn't download this other thing yet. Let me get something out here for you. Now, I know that some of these other players that they're going after aren't the big name guys that were out there. I mean, I liked going through about 3 of the shows last week and being able to talk about Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. You know, that was a pipe dream, but they're talking to these teams. It's a cool thing to think about, but you know, we got to get snapped back to reality right here. And the reality of it is you got Adam Schefter out there yesterday bringing the reality of it. And here's a couple players that could make the team a lot better, that could be available, and they would be more of the bargain basement price right here. And Azeez Ojulari is and forgive my pronunciation, but this kid's in the last year, his contract, and you could get him at the rental spot. And he's got some sacks. He's got some production this year. He's got 6 sacks already this year. Zadarius Smith has got some production already this year. So you had Adam Schefter out there, and he's talking about the Lions going out and possibly getting some of these guys. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Lions trade for a pass rusher. Yes, I do think you're going to see that. You saw Dan Campbell get all fired up. He looked like the cat who ate the canary. They don't have a deal done yet, but there are a couple of pass rushers out there right now. Zadarius Smith, Azeez Ojulari in New York. There are a couple of guys that make a lot of sense for the Lions. And if you are this close and this good, why are you not willing to part with some mid-round pick to get in some type of reinforcement to hold down the fort until Aiden Hutchinson can make it back for the Super Bowl?
Trey Hendrickson? Bengals?
I don't see the Bengals doing it, but yeah, that would be great. He would be perfect there.
Okay.
You keep
Yeah, he would be perfect right there. The Trey Hendrickson. But, you know, when it comes to Adam Schefter, you know, you're reading between the lines right there. And, you know, he's giving you a couple pass rushers that are actually realistic for the Lions to get. And Zadarius Smith is still offers a good pass rush. And, you know, he may not be what you wanted, but if you're looking for somebody that is going to upgrade your pass rush room, Zadarius Smith can do that. You know, we had some talent go out the door because of injury. You know, and this isn't just about Aiden Hutchinson. You know, it's about Marcus Davenport. It's about John Kaminsky. You know, it's about Josh Pascal. It's about Derek Barnes. You know, they've lost a lot of resources that they had at the beginning of the season. Kyle Pecco. You know, and the Lions have definitely proven that they got some depth at the position. You know, Muhammad stepped right in. He had a good game last week. You know, he's not going to have a plus pass rushing game. He needs to get a little bit better at being stout on the run. But the Lions need to go out there at the trade deadline here, and you can get a couple of these guys for, you know, fourth, fifth round picks. So I think that's the way that they're going to end up going about it. It's not going to affect this rivalry game that we got coming up here. It's not going to affect it at all. We're going to have to go in there with the reinforcements that we have right now. You know, and Muhammad, you know, a mixture of James Houston and Levi Onwuzurike, Mekhi Wingo, 6th round rookie. They're going to have to get it done. They're going to have to get it done against probably the biggest challenge that the Lions have had this year. This is a hungry Green Bay team. Don't think for a second. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't go in there and pound them. I mean, I think the Lions, if they can run the football, this is going to be a long game for the Green Bay Packers this week. You're missing that Aiden Hutchinson run stopping. Are we going to be susceptible to the run? Josh Jacobs is a good running back. Is Green Bay going to be able to move the ball on the ground against us? Because we got to use extra resources to make sure that we got pressure on the quarterback? You're watching a Lion Villain Report with your host, Russell Wayne, right here. And we are brought to you by NFL Shop. You can use a link in the comments to save up to 30% off of your order. Thank you to our affiliate marketing partners at NFL Shop. But this is a big game. This is the best division in football. So what are we going to be saying on Monday? Because the Lions have an opportunity right here. The Lions have an opportunity to expand that lead, to take control of the entire NFC with a victory in Lambeau. And I don't think it's lost on any of the players. Because I'm just some knucklehead with a podcast and I'm fired up. You like that? Damn right I do. You damn right I do. And then the second biggest story that's out there is that we're trading for pass rushers, right? You heard it. Shefty's out there. I love the way that Shefty is realistic about the stuff. Well, what about Trey Hendrickson? Well, I don't see the Cincinnati Bengals wanting to part with their best players. And that's why when we were talking last week, and I'm like, what would you do? What would you pay for Myles Garrett? Oh, 3 first-round picks. No, whatever they want to pay. Like, if they were stupid enough, and this is what Schefter's talking about, you know, Myles Garrett, right? If they were willing to trade Myles Garrett for 3 first-round picks, but Brad Holmes would probably jump at an opportunity just because Myles Garrett would be available. I mean, you could pick 20 times in the first round and not find a Myles Garrett. It's like it's a no-brainer. Now, these two players right here, Azeez Ojulari and Zadarius Smith, they're good players. That's more realistic to what we're looking at right here. You know, for a team to come off of their generational talent and, you know, Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, it's like you pay that. That's a king's ransom. I don't care how shitty your team is. Like, that's your cornerstone piece. They ain't trading Myles Garrett. And if they are, jump on it. Go get it. Go get it. Pay whatever they want. Like, you see the size of Myles Garrett's arms? You don't trade a guy like that. Myles Garrett is a human wrecking machine. If the Lions have any chance of getting him, Brad Holmes should pay whatever. That's a king's ransom. It's a once in a lifetime type of player. Go get him. Max Crosby's the same way. These are dominating defensive players. You never get two of those guys on one team. But these are nice players right here that Adam Schefter's talking about. When he's talking about Trey Hendrickson, that would be a perfect fit for the Lions. But I don't know if the Bengals are selling the season yet. Why would you trade one of your best players? So, I mean, the pipe dream is the pipe dream, but the Browns are a dumpster fire. I mean, gosh, they should trade Myles Garrett because they're such a dumpster fire, and Myles Garrett deserves better than that. But we could get Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith is a good player. He's got 5 sacks on the year. And then Aziz. Let's see where he be. Right there. I mean, he's got 6 sacks on the year. And he's always affecting the quarterback. I mean, I like the Aziz one because you can rent him immediately, right? Because he's on an expiring contract. Let's say we spent a 3rd round pick from 2026 on him, because we don't have one this year. But you spend a down the line 3rd round pick on him, and then we let his contract expire at the end of the year. We win the Super Bowl or whatever. We're making this move. He goes and signs a mega contract to a different team. Then the Lions get a compensatory draft pick. You could essentially rent the guy, let him go sign with someone else. Hutchinson would be better, so then we re-sign him. We're not going to re-sign both of these guys. This is a rental. Aziz would be a rental. He's on the last year of his deal. Now, Zadarius Smith, you'd have for 2 years. For a bag of Skittles. I mean, you have a nice compliment to Hutch. So I like that contract. So I definitely like those 2 suggestions. Is it possible that they get both of them? Let me see how I'm getting in here. What's up, Jimmy Hoffa in the morning? What's up, Jimmy Hoffa? Do we need an every down edge or just a situational pass rusher? I think that we need a guy that can get to the passer. I like the Zadarius Smith because he's a 3-down guy. That offers more versatility. The central scrutinizer is up in the house. TD Town, they got dairy cows. Hey, you guys are in here getting after our Packer fans in here. Fortunately, the forecast calls for rain and the passing game will be weakened. Our pass rush won't be exposed. Okay, if they do rain, gosh, I hate that field. Steve, I hate your field. Fix your field. What's up with your field up there in Lambeau? If it's going to end up being a running game, I don't know who that favors. They got a good running back there. Josh Jacobs is a good running back. We got 2 real good running backs. So if that goes to a running game, it's going to be interesting. Let's see. The Packers know exactly what cleats to wear on that field in the rain. It's true. It's a home field advantage. History is history. Lions lock down the division, and that's all the motivation that we need. Lions 31, Packers 17. The score could be lower if the weather on the field isn't that good. Steve says Cooper and Wilson are dominant linebackers. You guys got a good defense. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Evan Williams is a big-time hitter and defender. Do you think that you're the best defense? Do you think that the Packers are the best defense that the Lions have faced this year? Is that what you're trying to sell me on? The Packers are the best defense that the Lions have faced this year? Or is it the Minnesota Vikings, the best defense that the Lions have faced this year? The team that beat you. You guys lost to the Minnesota Vikings. So I think the Minnesota Vikings have a more dominant defense than the Packers do. But I think that the Packers have a really, really good defense. I think you have a very, very good safety in Xavier McKinney. I mean, you might argue that Xavier McKinney is better than either one of the safeties that the Lions have. And I mean, he has more experience. I would even submit to that. But I'll tell you this, that the Lions have a better safety room than the Green Bay Packers because Branch and Kirby together. I mean, if you're talking about Branch, Kirby, and Xavier McKinney, you're talking about 3 top 5 safeties in the NFL. I mean, and you may be able to argue me out of the top 5, but definitely top 10. You're talking 3 top 10 safeties in the NFL. And you say you have a good linebacker room, and I give you that too. I think that they have a good linebacker room, but the Lions have a very good linebacker room. I would argue that you have 2 top 10 linebacking rooms in the NFL. Now, where I do think that the Packers have the advantage is at the pass rush. Because of the Lions injuries, we're depending on a lot of guys that people haven't heard of before. You know, maybe not got a lot of press. So, Rashad Gary, that's a very good pass rusher. You know, you got some young players over there too. The Packers have one of the youngest rosters that is an ascending roster. So this is going to be a battle. This is a battle for control. This is a battle of juggernauts. Because this isn't just a lowly little division battle anymore. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hey, Jimmy Hoffa, you know, you can come in here and you can list off all your players. I know about your play. Evan Williams is not on the caliber of Xavier McKinney. Check your numbers, bud. You check your numbers. You go check out Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, Jimmy Hoffa. You coming in here. Evan Williams is not a top 10 safety. Evan Williams is not a top 10 safety. But Brian Branch, I guess, yeah, you're right. I guess I do got to go check my stats. I got to check my stats. So this is a battle of good safeties. I undersold. I'm going to admit that. I undersold Evan Williams. Evan Williams is a top 10 safety. Evan Williams is a top 10 safety. But Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are top 5 safeties because I'm looking at the defensive grades right here in the NFL. These are 2 of the best back ends. Thank you for pulling that out. Thank you for pulling that out. That's cool. That's what I love about going through here and you check my stats. You're talking about these might be the two best safety rooms in the NFL. I mean, if you want to argue Atlanta with Bates, but man, Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney, and then Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, you might be looking at number 1 and number 2 safety rooms in the NFL. I'm just bringing up the PFF stats right here that I'm looking at, and all the metrics that you're looking at it. And in almost every metric. Good tacklers, good in coverage, defense. So I love this matchup, man. I love the matchup of our young secondary versus that Green Bay wide receiver core. I love that matchup. You know, Dobbs, Watson, and Reed, Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, and Amik Robertson, and Brian Branch, and Kirby Joseph. Man, this is going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a cool battle, man. Oh, man. See, Jimmy Hoff, our tight ends are bigger than your D-line. Yeah, you ain't bigger than DJ Reader. Get out of here with that nonsense. You talk about me going out and check stats. I checked the stats. I gave your boy credit. Your tight ends are bigger than my D-line. Are you mad? Aleem McNeil's 320 pounds, bro. DJ Reader's 330 pounds, bro. Levi Onwuzurike's 310 pounds, bro. Get out of here with that. The Lions are mean. The Lions are mean. The central scrutinizer, if love starts. Brian says, I'm happy I finally bought your show. Fun stuff. Thank you, Brian. Good morning. Good morning to Harpozo. Thank you, everyone. Brother Russ. Arnold is coming on for the Lions. Yes, he is. And that's what you got to expect. You got to expect some of these guys to get better going through the year. David says he's still young and he hasn't learned to turn and find the ball yet. Hey, Joseph, how are you feeling? Let's see. Jimmy Hoffa, I've been going through it. You got plenty of weapons. You got plenty of weapons. This is a good matchup. This is a good matchup. You in here talking like you just going to come in and the Lions don't know about what the Packers are bringing. The Lions know what the Packers are bringing. This is going to be a physical matchup. This is going to be a physical matchup. I think that the Packers have a very, very good roster. Maybe one of the best in the NFL, but so do the Lions. The Lions have a great roster. And offensively, they're rolling. Offensively, they're rolling. It's going to be a hard offense to stop because it's not all schematics here, guys. It isn't schematics why the Lions are winning offensively. It's a battle of physical. The Lions' offensive line is very physical. They look to dominate defensive lines and wear them down. And then we have talented running backs. We have wide receivers that block out on the edge. So if it turns into a rainy game, if it turns into a rainy game, then it could be all running. Look at this guy. You're talking all the smack now, man. Here. I'm going to put a little shout out right here since you're running your mouth in my chat right here, because y'all going to be crying. Y'all going to be crying because you can dish it, but you can't take it. I love how these brand new people that come in out of nowhere and they start running their mouths. You know what? I admit that your team is good. I admit that your team is good, but my team's better. And you know what? You want Goff to throw the ball, and so does everybody else. Everybody's wanted Goff to throw the ball. And guess what? When he throws the ball, he throws it with perfection. We're going to score on you. Jimmy, listen to me. You got to score 31 points. If you don't score 31 points, you're going to lose. If you don't score at least 31 points, you're going to lose. If the Packers win this game, it's going to be a shootout. We can't stop your offense, and because you ain't stopping our offense on with pass or your defense isn't better than the Minnesota Vikings. We faced good defenses and demolished them. And when you can't stop our offense, I'm going to come on here on Monday and I'm going to tell you it's not your defense's fault. It's not that your defense is bad. It's that our offense is that good. This is a historic. This has the potential to be a historic offense. And you think it has to do with Goff, and it has more to do with Penei Sewell in our offensive line on that side. And Ben Johnson being able to find your weakest spot and attack it. It's the offense. The Lions offense is special. I expect the Lions offense to do special things this year that have nothing to do with Green Bay Packers and their legacy. Let's see. Packers could score 30 and lose by 17. Oh, man. I know who your players are, Jimmy. Our O-line is very familiar with your D-line. And I also know that our O-line doesn't take kindly to losing. And the last time that we faced the Packers won the game. The Packers won the game, and we remember that. And we remember that. As a matter of fact, the Lions haven't lost back-to-back games since 2022. So the chances that you're going to beat us twice in a row is, I mean, if you want to come in with all the confidence, because I'll take my team up against anybody's team. You're not special, Green Bay. You're not special, Green Bay. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. We ain't trying to beat Green Bay. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. So if Green Bay can get a victory over the Lions, then that'll be a good victory for you. Hey, Jimmy, have you ever heard of Frank Ragnow? Have you ever heard of Kevin Zeitler? Have you heard of Penei Sewell? Yeah, that's why they're the best offense in football right now. I expect a good game. I expect a good game. Oh, God, let's get out of this nonsense. All right, so Adam Schefter going out there. Do you think the Lions are going to make a move? Do you think they have to make a move? Because Green Bay fan thinks that this defensive line that they have is going to dominate our offensive line, and that we're going to need to get pass rushers, or we don't have a chance to do anything. I mean, that is a legit question for this matchup. Is when Aiden Hutchinson was out there, the Lions were a top 5 run stuffing unit. Now, since Aiden Hutchinson hasn't been there, they've still been able to get pressures and get the quarterback off a spot, but the run defense has been where you could say that we got exposed. Now, if you're watching the ebb and flow of the game, I didn't see it like that. I saw Tennessee come out hot with a lot of fire, with a lot of vigor. And they did break off a couple of big runs on their 14 points of scoring. But what I want to see in a defense, if it's my defense, is a team that if you do get beat, you know, what is your response? What is your response? And the defense responded by having a goal line stand, which I always love a good goal line stand. Goal line stands are so cool to me because you got first and goal, really 5 plays, because they gave them a first and goal at the 1. And then just to see, you know, advantage offense, by the way, you only need 1 yard trying to get into the end zone, and to see a goal line stand, it's got to be such a good feeling for your defense. And I also noticed that they responded when they got beat in a certain way. You know, they were exposing us in those middle soft zones with the tight end throws. You know, and they drove down the field one time like that. Second time around, it might have had something to do with Aaron Glenn yelling at Kirby. Next time he tries to throw the ball in that soft zone, here comes Kirby. Thank you. There you go. So I like a defense that learns from its mistakes. So a bulk of those things, and I have no doubt that I think that Green Bay can move the football on offense. and their defense has been taking the ball away. So if you're the Lions, I'm protecting the football. So if the Lions want to protect the football, I'm sorry, I'm reading if there's anything in the comments that's worthwhile, but it seems like all of my boys, all of my regulars in there are going after Jimmy in there. And by the way, you know what? We love this, and I want to make sure that we understand where we're coming from here. But faith, family, and then football. It's in that order for a reason, because even I don't want to hate Jimmy. Jimmy could be a good person. Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy could be a good person. He loves the Green Bay Packers. So faith, family, and then football. We use football. We don't let football use us. So that way, if I have my priorities right, I can love Jimmy the person, and I can still think your team sucks. But your team doesn't suck. Green Bay Packers do not suck. But the Lions, the Lions are the best team in football. I really believe that. Even without Hutchinson. They got other good players that are starting to come into their own. I do like that Green Bay safety room. Xavier McKinney. And Evan Williams. That's formidable. That's formidable. I don't think, without our deep threat, we're not going to have Jameson Williams. We don't really have somebody that's going to challenge you there where McKinney and Williams are. I think the challenge is we're going to challenge your linebackers to cover. And I think that we're going to try to run the football on you guys when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. I believe that we have an advantage with our offensive line versus that defensive line. I know who Kenny Clark is. I know who Rashad Gary is. But I also know who Frank Ragnow is. I know who Kevin Zeitler is. And we got guys that are going to show up for the fight. You may be able to bully a lot of people with those guys, but you ain't going to bully this offensive line. Steve says Evan Williams, I don't think is playing either. Ow. Man. Lions strike fear in the hearts. Jimmy says Javon Ballard can fill in. Okay, next man up. But, if you're getting top 5 production or top 10 production out of a position, next man up has got some pretty big shoes to fill. So, but you know what? Injuries aren't an excuse anyway. It's next man up. I mean, the Lions are down, 6 guys on the defensive line? It's been next man up. And luckily, it's like our defensive line, when you got injuries happening to it, it's more of the younger guys that you're developing anyway that are just getting chances. So younger guys are starting to learn. Game's starting to slow down a little bit for them. I think that this Mekhi Wingo draft pick from last year, guys, I think that he might turn into something here. But we'll have to see. It's War Week. It's War Week. 6-1 Lions versus the 6-2 Packers. This is a battle for control. 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 Not of the NFC North. Oh, of course it's the NFC North. You have control of the NFC North, but the NFC. The clear path to the 1 seed. And it all goes through this battle, this epic old school battle. Can the Lions finally seal a deal on a championship? That's what we want. This is what you want. You want a game like this. If you're a Lion fan, really, you have to go through a historic team like the Packers in order to get to that final destination. These are the type of games that you got to win when it's all on the line here. And it's not all on the line, but this is a big game. You have an opportunity to shut the Packers out. You have an opportunity to shut the Packers out of the equation, at least for the time being. Now, you don't want to let them in. Right now, you got a little bit of a lead on them. And they have an opportunity to put themselves right back into that mix. This is a big opportunity for the Green Bay Packers, too. They can put themselves right into that mix. But the Lions have an opportunity to pull away. And Jimmy, Amon-Ra St. Brown is not the only guy that you have to worry about. As a matter of fact, everyone's been trying so hard to get Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's why they've been getting killed by all the other players. The Lions had 6 different playmakers score a touchdown in the last game. You got to worry about Laporta. You got to worry about Amon-Ra. You got to worry about Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. You got to worry about David Montgomery out of the backfield. You got to worry about Tim Patrick. You got plenty that you got to worry about. You got to worry about Khalif Raymond. And that's why the Lions offense is so dangerous, because you got to worry about Brock Wright. And we don't need to go after the guys that are your highest rated slot corners, Jimmy. We're going to find the worst graded guy that you got out there, and then they're going to go after him. The Lions have the best offense in the NFL, so good luck. Good luck. I mean, if you got the highest graded slot corners, good luck. We're going to put them to the test. We're going to put all those guys to the test. This is the Lion Villain Report. You can join me Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. We're talking football. We're talking Lions football. And we got some Green Bay Packer trolls in the comments. I need you to go after them. I need you to take care of my light work right here. I'm giving the Packers plenty of kudos in here. This is the war week. You can join me every Tuesday for PFF Tuesday. We'll go through and check out the studs and duds as far as PFF is concerned. Wednesday is our hump day preview. We're going to take our first look at the upcoming opponent. But right now, we're all focused. And then our lock picks. If you joined us on yesterday's show, you can check out the replay to check out what our lock picks were. But what are your lock picks? We picking against the spread every week. We're keeping track. And the top reasons to ghost the villain usually is after we beat you, you don't show up to the show anymore because you're all sad.
It doesn't matter how you're doing.
And that's the top reasons to ghost the villain. So I hope that our Green Bay Packer fans still come in here afterwards. I know they'll come in after a win. So I hope that the Lions win. But if Green Bay wins, I'm sure that we'll get all the Green Bay Packer fans, and we'll get a couple new ones to come in because they only come in when they win. They only troll when they win. They don't like coming in after the losses anymore. They don't like being accountable for all that trash they just talked. They don't like doing that. And they get all sad. And they say, Russ was mean to me. And that's why they call me the villain. Because I don't want to see anybody out there crying and not having a good time, because I'm not going to take it personally. If the Lions lose, the Lions lose. That means that I got to come on here and eat crow for 7 days until we play the Texans. So I ain't scared, but some of them had a hard time. So we wanted to say RIP to the fans that could dish it but couldn't take it. The ones that didn't last very much longer. But let's go in here. Man, you guys are just arguing with him. Okay. I'm not going back to the comments. I want to know, who do you think that we're going to get? Lions fans that are listening to me and that want to trade for said player. And let's get the pipe dreams out of the way. We're probably not going to get Trey Hendrickson. We're probably not going to get Max Crosby, and we're probably not going to get Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. It's just not. It's just not real. It's just not real. It would be crazy. It would be the coolest show ever if I got to come on here and say that we got one of those three players. I would love it. But realistically, this is what Adam Schefter was saying, is that Azeez Ojulari from the New York Giants, who has 6 sacks already this year, a young player on an expiring contract, that could definitely upgrade our pass rush room. You could probably get him for a day 2, maybe a couple day 3 picks. Same thing with Zadarius Smith. I'm sure he's got a couple suitors that are out there, but you could probably get him for a 3rd or 4th round pick. Upgrades. They need some upgrades. You know, it's a long season. You want to make sure that you got guys that can get after the passer. And you need to be able to do it with 4 players. So we'll see. We'll see. But who do you want to see him get? Who's it going to be? Brian says, I'd rather have Azeez. But I'm not sure what he'll cost. I don't know. We're coming to the end. It's a Lions Villain Report. You can join me every day at 10 a.m. You can join Jimmy Hoffa in here tomorrow. Probably. He'll be running his mouth until after Sunday's game, when he realizes that the Detroit Lions have a team that is built to beat the Green Bay Packers. Gonna see if the Lions can make it 4 in a row in Lambeau. Can the Lions continue ownership of the Green Bay Packers on Lambeau Field as Ford Field North? Some of our own faithful have departed. But let me tell you something, Mean Gene. With me and all my Hulkamaniacs out there, the Detroit Lions are going to go up the Lambeau Field, dude. And they're going to run the ball down the throat of the Green Bay Packers. What you going to do, cheeseheads, when the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell run wild on you? What I'd like to have right now is for all of you fat, out of shape, cheese-eating Wisconsin piss ass. Keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show all you bigger ladies what a real sexy man looks like. Hit the music. You see, the Lions Villain Report is it's one of my favorite shows. You should watch it. It's at 10 a.m. in the mornings. Talking Lions. You should watch it. It could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life. Donald Schwarzenegger was cheated. They grabbed me by my face mask and threw me to the ground. They didn't throw flags. He should take my hand with the flag and throw it on the ground. I was cheated in this game. You just don't understand. Donald Schwarzenegger's supposed to save. He's supposed to save Minneapolis from certain disaster. Man, get on my shoulders. I will find Justin Jefferson in the back of the end zone. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Thank you to everybody that supports the UDFA of sports podcasting. The ones that like, the ones that share, the ones that comment, the ones that participate. We love our live audience on here. You can join me every day at 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday. We're talking Lions football. We're 4 week tomorrow morning. But most importantly, it's faith, family, and then football. You know, we don't want to get out of control with all this. We got to make sure we love our neighbors. So we use football to spend time with our family. We use football to create memories. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. And that'll be tomorrow for the Lion Villain Report. God bless. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet.
Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple.
Never give up and we winning it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.